Hello everyone, Chaos here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. Every 6 months, Jagex holds a livestream event called the Summit during winter and summer. These showcase all of the content coming in the first and second half of the current year, respectively, and this past Saturday we were spoiled to all of the new releases coming up until summer of 2024. Today, we will go over all of them, what they mean for the future of the game, and of course give you my humble opinion about each and every single edition coming soon. And hey, it was pretty cool googling OSRS Winter Summit and having my livestream as the first result. So, thank you to everyone who came. If you boys and girls enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on and to drop a cheeky like, as I will both livestream and make videos about all of these updates as soon as they come out. If we hit 100,000 subscribers this year, I'll go skydiving and share it with you. And you can also join our Discord with a link in the description. Not really a disclaimer, but today I will talk about all of the updates in order of personal excitement, which is heavily subjective and will depend on what type of content you enjoy. I will still mention all the updates, so no need to worry. The only exceptions are the first two topics, as we already have definitive dates for both releases, and we will get them out of the way to tell you everything there is to know. Boys and girls, let's begin. The first one is a brand new boss by the name Skurious, the Rat King. This is going to release just this Wednesday, January 24th, and like I said before, it is a mid-level group boss to teach essential mechanics like movement, prayer switches, flaking, and maybe some timing you need to do for a specific boss whenever they are doing something important. The video shows a lot of very interesting mechanics, and most importantly, it shows 3 people in the same instance. I'm not really sure if the boss is going to scale with how many people are in the same room, if you're going to be able to solo it as an actual mid-level player, which should definitely be possible if Jagex is looking to promote these, I would say, activities, and it looks like it's going to be a great way to teach players essential mechanics in order for you to go raiding or maybe do a little bit more challenging bosses. The boss is also going to drop new rat bone weapons for all combat styles. For melee, we have a little mace. For range, we have a bow. And of course, for magic, we have a little staff. And the only, I would say, downside to it, why was this not free to play? I think our brothers and sisters over at the Grey Star World have been struggling for many years. I think this would have been a really good addition for them, and of course incentivize that membership, addition, so they can actually upgrade their accounts, and in turn means more money for Jagex. But yeah, I guess they're gonna have to cope with Rune Scimitar, a Maple Shortbow, and an Elemental Staff for now. But these weapons definitely look like something you want to grab before, maybe some Rune items, or maybe in between Rune and Dragon. So I'll be live streaming this on Wednesday, so make sure to keep an eye out for that one. The Desert Treasure 2 bosses combat achievements are finally coming next week, and I'm gonna have to go back to that horrible prison. If you know my luck with axe pieces, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But we are going to finally have some challenges for all of these bosses, and I'm pretty sure it didn't take Jagex a long time to get as much information as possible to see timing or best times, how many bosses you're able to kill in an instance for every single one of them. But maybe they just delayed it to work on other important things, who knows, especially for all of the things we're going to talk about. And I'm of course going to go back there to show you how to do all of the combat achievements. And what are we going to get other than KC? Maybe lower time or speed run, perfect KC, killing some of the same instance, and of course the awakened variants. We just have to wait and see. If you want to get creative, I want to see what you think is going to be part of the Desert Treasure 2 combat achievements, which will potentially be fairly exciting. And if there's a combat achievement to kill any of the bosses with a salamander, I am absolutely going to lose my shit. For the 12 of you who like Deadman mode and anything related to PKer, well, rejoice, we are going to have a new Deadman mode event coming in summer of 2024. Modmanked and Mod Kirby went on camera to give us a little recap as to everything that happened during the previous Deadman mode event, which was Apocalypse. This was a brand new way to play Deadman, and it included something called the Breaches, where bosses or other NPCs are able to spawn, and based on what you killed, you were able to get those sigils and powerful weapons in order for you to actually become better at killing your opponents. This was definitely a very I would say interesting way to give it a twist, and I was really close to trying it, but the fact that I watched the videos and see how people can kill others in those breaches and like that multi-combat area was a little discouraging, but they mentioned something interesting that maybe, just maybe, they could potentially have cosmetics, like for example with the Leagues ones, something you earn in the Deadman mode the demand mode gameplay and maybe bring it to the main game to maybe incentivize more people to earn it, and of course sell it in the Grand Exchange, more like the league's rewards. Back when I started making videos more consistently in 2021, I remember a quote-unquote juicy piece of drama between Jagex and the creator of the 117 HD plugin, saying that the project was going to be either put on hold or completely cancelled because it was going to interfere with the Jagex's vision of the future of the game and how old school RuneScape was going to look like. If you remember that, let me know in the comments, but we finally have some news about this. However, we don't have a current date yet. The important part about this, apart from Mod West, is that during the interview, especially Mod Sween said that there's going to be absolutely no problem if you want to continue using RuneLite 117 HD, or one of the most recent ones in the form of the HD OS, which basically gives us RuneScape 2, like maybe the graphics between, I believe it is 2010 and 2012. So if you want to rock any of those, that is going to be perfect. And this one is looking incredible. Cannot wait to see what they have in store for this one in the future. Boys and girls, grab your boats and your crew because we have a lot more information about sailing. There is so much information, in fact, that this is one part of the video where I would encourage you to check out their update, because they say so many things about implementing it, like all of the content that they want to introduce, and most importantly, in my opinion, one thing I'm super excited about, is that they talk about the fact that there is going to be a potential contest for people to make their own islands, and the one that people vote for the most is going to make it into the game. This brings back some vibes from the days in which there was player-designed content, and that is basically the reason why we have pieces of content in the game like Rooftop Agility and the Motherlode Mine, which were essentially made by players in the community. The important thing about this one is that we are potentially going to get a beta test during the second quarter of 2024, giving us the ability to interact with the skill and actually have a feel for it. The JMods have been working on it for us to do the basics, maybe make our own boats, go to another island, interact with whatever's on the island, and maybe even inviting people to hop on our boats and maybe see how the progression with the experience is going to feel like. The most important thing about this, I would say, is that Jagex is also, I would say, prioritizing people who voted no on the skill. I believe everyone who voted no is going to get a special survey on their inbox, maybe asking players why they voted no. There's always going to be people who voted out of spite, they don't want the new skill, you will not be able to change their minds, but I believe there is going to be that very, very tiny amount of people that will change their mind if they see that Jagex is paying attention to them, and of course making it the best update in the history of old school RuneScape. So, the sailing update's coming very, well, not soon, but we're gonna get more information about it in 2024. A very quick one they talk about is that there is going to be a new quest added to the game by the name Defender of Varrock. This is going to be released during spring of 2024, and if you boys and girls remember, it is basically a RuneScape 3 quest that is a prerequisite to something that's pretty important and I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about. The release of this quest means that there is going to be a brand new NPC by the name Armored Zombies. Back in RuneScape 2, this was a good place to train. It was more like the Nightmare Zone back in the day, where you just grab your overload, you protect from melee, you go up the ladder in order to restore your prayer, and then you go back for some AFK gains. These armored zombies are going to have a new item added called the Zombie Axe, which you need level 60 attack, and it is going to be a good bridge between dragon weapons and the whip, which Jagex, is looking to, I would say, bridge the gap between those levels. And of course, I would say the power creep topic is always, in mind when making new items. You don't want to make a content 100% useless when you unlock an item, so the axe is going to be a 5-tick weapon that hits pretty hard, and that is going to be kind of like a competition with the Dragon Scimitar up until you get that iconic Abyssal Whip. We finally have a definitive date for Valimor Part 1, and it drops on March the 20th. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I made an entire video dedicated on Valimor, but we are going to get content like the Hunter Guild, Hunter Contracts, one new activity by the name Pervilius Moons, new armor and weapons from that activity, and finally the highly anticipated Fortis Colosseum. The Hunter Guild is going to give us basically a new way to train Hunter. It's going to pretty much completely revolutionize the entire skill, give us new creatures, new food, and new items to go for, and of course a new little cute pet by the name Quetzal. The Perilous Moons, by what they said and what we saw in the trailer, is a new activity with potentially 3 new bosses that are going to, from what they said, no 2 runs are going to be the same. I don't know if it's going to be randomly generated by the Corrupted Gauntlet, but it looks like it's going to offer a great challenge for those looking to improve their PvP abilities. And finally, the Fortis Colosseum, if you remember, was, or actually is partly inspired by something called the Tiscal Trials, which was mentioned in a game jam like maybe 2 years ago, made by Mudhusky. This is going to be a new wave-based encounter, which gets even more difficult as you go on. And I believe if you want the Dazana's Quiver, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, it is not going to be as difficult as the Inferno, but if you want to push it to the absolute limit, it is definitely going to be what the high-level community is going to struggle, potentially for months to come. We'll have to see if a Brother No Monkey deems it proper of something that the high-level community can actually take, weeks or even months to perfect and actually, make it an enjoyable activity for everyone to enjoy. So go check out that video if you want to learn more about this, and it's pretty cool. And speaking of Valimor, the second batch of updates is going to drop during the summer of 2024. Since this one is farther away, we don't know a lot about them, and I'm pretty sure we will hear, a lot more details during the summer summit. But what we know so far is that we are going to get a brand new island with more skilling activities, maybe more quests, and most importantly, a new Herblore activity. We don't know anything about this other than UIMs being an absolute shambles, but no one cares about them, so let's move on. Finally, we have a new potential mountain group boss that will potentially tie in with the lore in the area, and of course, we just have to wait and see what type of items it is going to drop. Maybe something like Nex, maybe something not as difficult, but we'll have to see how you take your buddies onto a raid encounter. Well, I mean, not technically a raid, but on the monster encounter, and see how much money you can make. Last, and what I am most excited about, is a brand new Grandmaster quest added by the name While Guthix Sleeps. This is going to potentially be released in summer of 2024, and for you OGs out there, you might remember that While Guthix Sleeps back in RuneScape 2 was the first Grandmaster quest and potentially one of the most iconic ones we have ever had in the history of the entire game. This basically ties in with the Majorath series, but it's not like a direct continuation or like a sequel to Desert Treasure 2, that has its own, characters and storyline and lore. But While Guthix Sleeps is definitely going to give us a new thing to look forward to, because if you remember in RuneScape 2, being able to, I would say, complete that quest gave you the ability to fight a new monster by the name Tormented Demons. If you don't know a lot about the lore of this game, the demonic gorillas we have in the game right now are basically Tormented Demons. They can attack with any combat style, and when you damage them a certain amount, they will change their prayers, and of course it is a tough monster to beat, in which originally they gave you the Dragon Claws. Now, what's important about this one is that the rewards are looking absolutely stacked, because we may potentially have the addition of brand new prayers by the name Rites of Balance. This is basically inspired by a Reddit post in which they basically say, okay, so do you want to align with Bandos, Zeros, Seren, Guthix, Zamorak? And then whatever Rite of Balance you choose is going to give you different abilities and maybe buff some of the current prayers that you have in order to give you more power, more defense, or maybe a balance in between. Maybe some scaling prayers could potentially be cool, and I just cannot wait to see the new, I would say, direction of the new prayers that we're going to have in old school RuneScape. Now, I would say only problem we have with this one is that if you remember back then, the Tormented Demons, or even currently in RuneScape 3, Tormented Demons drop Dragon Claws. And Jagex is hinting at the idea, or even asking us, what do we want to do with the Dragon Claws? Do we want to remove them from chambers and adding that to the Tormented Demons, or whatever new boss we have? Or do we want to keep it there and give the potential Tormented Demons a brand new item that is going to maybe be a special, or a brand new armor, weapon, jewelry, who knows? We have a lot of time to work on, with Jagex asking us what we want as rewards from this quest, and I cannot wait to see what this new adventure holds, and it's basically going to be as hype as Desert Treasure 2 last year, and I cannot wait to share with you guys both in the video and of course in a live stream. Boys and girls, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and for making it this far, and as is tradition, today we are doing another weekly bond giveaway, so what I want you to do is the following. Leave the term RSN with your old school RuneScape username, and I also want you to tell me your opinion on what you heard in this video, and also, telling me what you liked, what you disliked, and of course giving me, as much information as possible. I will add you in the game if you win. We're going to be doing the draw this Friday during a live stream, and of course I'm going to contact you in the game to coordinate the drop. I want to give a massive thank you to all my channel members. I cannot wait to share all of this with you, both in videos and live streams in the future, and of course keep giving you entertaining content throughout 2024. If you want to join this list of legends, click the join button below and see how you can monetarily support this channel in order for this random third world Mexican to give you more ideas and guides as to how to play this game a little more efficiently. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video where we will see how to get more Slayer points out of your Slayer tasks, as we are going to look at how tutorial skip or boosting in the most efficient way possible. I hope you guys are looking forward to that, but so far, thank you very much for watching, have a wonderful week, and I will see you then. Peace.